Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about rewilding the world. First, we're going to learn the animals that lived before and passed traits to the next generation. Then, we're going to learn about how to restore forests and what impact of the wolves did on other animals at the Yellowstone National Park. Last, we'll talk about some ways to rewild the world. After the dinosaurs, there are animals called megafaunas. They are huge creatures and they are everywhere, on every continent. In America, there are ground sloths that pull down big trees with their huge claws, and big armadillos the size of small cars, with beavers that chew through trees, and big birds that have a wingspan of 26 foot. And there are saber-toothed cats that hunted in big packs but can be easily driven away by a short-faced bear, which is 13 foot tall if they stand on their hind legs. Now there aren't any more of those big creatures, but the next generation of that creatures still have some traits that help them adapt to the new world, like the trees that once have been pulled down by ground sloths and can survive now because they have adapted to twisting, wrestling, and with the elephant's strength. Some species of some species of megafauna still survive in parts of Asia and Africa, but most of them were killed and hunted by humans and they went extinct. But still, some animals, like the pronghorn in America, still have traits that can still help them run away from American cheetahs, because they got the trick to run away from saber-toothed tigers or something like that. And those trees, they learn to be more strong, so they aren't as easily to pull down like they used to. And of course, they have resprouted from the broken trunks. Now, some animals that are extinct can be, I'm not sure, but they can be restored again with DNA and genetic things, but even that is not possible. We can still restore the ecosystem that's happening now, because there's still ecosystem everywhere in the world, and we need to help it survive and not go extinct like the previous thing that happened, because there were too many human hunters. Now many farmlands don't have enough good soil to do planting, so farmers go away to find new land, because they can't compete with farmers that have good land because they grow better crops. And when that farm is abandoned, forests regrow, and bringing back a lot of birds, squirrels, and a lot of things. On a recent study, there was 2.2/3 of land in America that was a forest turned into a farm, and then they were abandoned, and then it would regrow into a forest again. And some say by 2030, a part in Europe the size of Poland can can grow into forests because they will be lived by farmers. And now I'm gonna talk about what happened when the wolves enter the national park, Yellowstone National Park, in 1995. They quickly changed almost everything. The deers that were growing, and like they were too much deers in the national park decreased because the wolves hunted the deers. So they decreased the deers and more plants got time to grow because too many deers made the plants hard to grow. They can eat saplings before they even had a chance to go into big trees. And more trees increased. They are 4 times higher in just 6 years. That's fast for a tree to grow. And more trees means songbirds come back with squirrels, and beavers also have a comeback because they need trees and the trees increase. And their dams, like the dams provided home for a lot of other creatures like frog, fish, ducks, muskins, and otters. The coyotes also decreased, meaning rabbits and mice increased, making more food for predators like hawks or fox, badgers, and all the food left by the wolves was eaten by many birds, including eagles. The bison also increased, and because of the regrown forests, and the bison increased. So only one species entered the ecosystem, but it changed almost everything. Also, the bears eat the berries on the bushes that regrown in those forests. So it's kind of like if you remove just one animal in the food chain, it's gonna make a very big impact. And now we're gonna talk about ways to rewild everything. Even though rewilding the forest, the animals, it can't be a reason to push away people, because even though it is important, people still need places to work, to live, and it can only be done with enthusiasm. And the food chain that just need only one animal to go, it can tumble down. It was one of the most exciting discovery in the last 50 years. Even though we cannot create an ideal food chain like sheep and wolves are like friends together, of course the wolves have to hunt the sheep. They cannot be like friends to make an ideal ecosystem. So that's why we go trying to restore them, not making it into an ideal ecosystem. You can imagine standing on a cliff in England, watching sperm whales hunt herons, and that will be very fun. We can create some marine ecosystems that people can watch, but without the fish commercial, because the fish commercial it impacts a lot to the ecosystem. And imagine a European integrity. There are many animals like living naturally in the world. We can undo some damage we done to help all the ecosystem restore and survive again